Welcome to another episode of Geeks Keep You Running. This is Season 2, Episode 5, and we're doing a deep dive into AI. As always, brought to you by the folks at Piedmont Technical Experts, where they keep you running. Your host for this episode is Jonathan Beck. Welcome to another episode of Geeks Keep You Running. I'm your host, Jonathan Beck. Today we're going to be talking about AI, or artificial intelligence. Everyone seems to have something to say about AI. Some of it good, some of it bad. We're going to try to meet somewhere in the middle and show you how AI can help, but how AI can also be a detriment to your business. In all honesty, a lot of the same arguments people bring up about artificial intelligence is the same arguments we've heard for decades about the internet or Google when they were first released. So, what exactly is AI? And is what we see in today's marketplace that is being described as artificial intelligence true AI? So, really, what we're looking at when we look at AI programs like ChatGPT, which is one of the more common ones, is really just a souped-up search engine. It's going to give you more content than what a traditional search engine would give you. It's going to pull the relevant data out of the articles that it's scouring through and give you that result. So it's not thinking on its own. It's making evaluation decisions based on the prompt that it's given. So if I tell it I want to see a paper on black Labrador retrievers, it's going to scour the internet or its database, depending on which tool you use, and it's going to pull relevant information on black Labrador retrievers. It's going to filter out the things about Great Danes or Chihuahuas and only give me the information that I'm asking for. So it's doing some decision making, but it's really not thinking on its own. Okay, so I'm being a little funny here. It definitely is not Skynet, and it's not Rising Machines just yet. Again, it's not thinking on its own. It's not just randomly, when I go to ChatGPT, it's not giving me a conversation. The back and forth banter between myself and ChatGPT is based on the prompts that I fill out and I give it. And it gives me what it believes is the most relevant response. So it's a decision-making platform, sure, but it's not true AI again. So it's not Skynet, and we're not going to see Terminators walking down the street tomorrow. Again, true artificial intelligence, it is not. Is it advanced search engine? Absolutely. Is it involving some decision-making processes? Absolutely. But again, it's based on the prompts that you fill out. So it's really responding to the user that is actually working with that specific AI. So what's the role of confirmation bias as it relates to AI? So first off, confirmation bias is basically when someone goes into a situation with a thought in their head of what the answer is going to be. And then they're going to use the data that they gather to confirm their already preconceived notion. Alright, so when it comes to AI, as you are typing in Google's AI platform or ChatGPT, and you are asking it a question, or you say, I want a blurb on the benefits of AI for small businesses in Greensboro, North Carolina, and how it's going to save me time, money, and stress, and I hit enter, then that platform is going to go out and find information and give me a response that specifically satisfies that question. The problem is, it doesn't necessarily talk about the other side of the coin. The risks of using AI or things like that. So it's just basically confirmation bias across the board. So you have to be careful how you use it, and it goes back to the need to validate any information that you get from one of these platforms to make sure that it is actually accurate. Yes, it can save you time. Yes, it potentially can save you money, but AI still has to be validated. So a question I get asked frequently is, should I consider using AI? My answer is, yes, you should consider using it. It can save you time. It can help cut down on research time. It is important to know how to talk to an AI program in order to minimize the risk that you're going to get inaccurate information. Number one, try to limit statements that lead to confirmation bias. Try to ask more open-ended questions unless you need something very specific. To give an example, if I was writing a batch file and I wanted to do certain things in that batch file, I could easily go to a chat GPT style program and ask it, I would like to do a batch file that renames a directory from A to B, copy files from folder A into folder C, and so on and so forth. And once I get done, I hit enter, and it's going to give me a batch file that gives me basically the information that I'm looking for. Should I use that? I should at least test it before I use it in production. Absolutely. The other thing is I should, take a look at it and validate that all the commands are legitimate commands. So, I could specify it further as that I want a batch file for Windows 11 machines that does these file copies and folder renames, and it's going to give me a more accurate script. So when you're considering using AI, you should consider using it from the standpoint of, how am I going to use it? Is it going to be for proprietary use needs, or is it open source that if I spend enough time on, say, like search engines, that I'm going to get the same data? This is just going to save me time. So yes, you should consider using AI. It has specific use cases where it can be a shortcut, or at least an assistant in what you're trying to do. It is not a replacement for a real body, though. So if you're using AI, what should you be worried about? What should you be concerned about? Number one, accuracy of the information. There have been examples where a specific prompt was asked and the program returned what was seemingly a great answer, until further research showed that everything that it said was completely inaccurate. So again, if you're looking at this from the standpoint of, is it a time saver? Absolutely. It takes probably less time to validate if something's accurate than to write and validate that something's accurate. The other thing that you want to take a look at is if you are specifically summarizing the contents of a particular website, you need to make sure that it's not copyrighted. You need to make sure that it is free to use, that it's open source. As far as a research document, that kind of thing. The other thing that you need to be worried about when using AI that we talked about is confirmation bias. So there are certainly some concerns about using AI. The other thing that you want to be concerned about is if you're working with proprietary information, you want to really make sure that you're not sharing proprietary information with the database that's that's being used for that particular AI. There was an example where a company's programmers were having issues with some code. They took that code to a AI and they said, tell me where the errors are in this code. Well, it got the answer that they were looking for, but their privacy settings were open. So their question, their prompt, went into the database. So then a competitor was actually able to get that same code sent to them because it was added to the database. So you really want to make sure the privacy settings that you have on your various AI platform is going to protect your data and your intellectual property. All right, now let's kind of start bringing this this discussion to a close, and talk about where we're at with AI. Right now, AI is really only as good as the prompts that you give it. The more specific you are, the more specific the answer that you get back is. Is it something that you can use as a time saver? Absolutely. Are there concerns with using it? Also, absolutely. You should always go into any new technology with at least some level of skepticism, and you want to make sure that the answers that you're getting are actually accurate. So again, it may take a little bit of time to validate that the answer you got is correct, but in the long run, it's going to make your life much easier if you validate the data, even if it takes a little bit more time. You probably still see a time savings using AI even with the validation. All right. Well, that's it for Season 2, Episode 5 of Geeks Keep You Running. I do appreciate you tuning in, and remember to like, comment, and share, as well as subscribe, so you're notified for new episodes and new content when they drop. Until next time, everyone stay geeky and keep running.